and still as fast as lightning.
Yeah, the power that he possesses, but it's not a thumping power, it's that explosive speed, that explosive power, the footwork he gets in position, and all of a sudden he's landed 3, 4, 5 shots and then he's angled off. A lot like I did in my fight against Lopez.
I have very fast. Yeah, it's a compensation. It's a very strong.
Big crowd, doesn't he? He's an absolute superstar in world boxing. And this was another
Joe Rogan reacts live to Naoya Inoue versus Alan Picasso, calling Inoue a true legend of the sport. Rogan is blown away by how fast Inoue's footwork is and how effortlessly he moves in and out of range. He points out that Inoue's power is completely unmatched in the division, adding that he blends speed, precision, and strength in a way very few fighters in boxing history ever have.
Alexander Usyk. Alexander, you're watching another pound-for-pound fight in Inoue. Have you been impressed with his performance so far?
Yeah, I like this is show Nagatani fight great with Mexican guy Naoya. I happy.
What do you think Inoue needs to do to get the stoppage?
I not think about this. I just watch fight. Maybe Naoya next fight going up. Maybe, I don't know. I think it's normally.
Okay.
Because Inoue have very fast. Yeah, it's a compensation.
When Alexander Usyk is asked about Naoya Inoue's performance against Alan Picasso, his response shows clear respect and admiration. Usyk pauses, then smiles before praising Inoue's speed and commanding presence in the ring. He openly says, "I like NA," highlighting how quickly Inoue moves and reacts. Usyk adds that Inoue is incredibly strong despite competing in lighter weight classes, explaining that the power, speed, and balance Inoue possesses make him dangerous at all times. His words reflect how elite fighters instantly recognize Inoue's greatness.
The first thing that I noticed straight away was Picasso was carrying an incredibly high guard, defensively keeping his gloves very, very high, trying to protect his chin. And one thing I'll say in general about Picasso in this fight is that his defensive awareness was very, very impressive. He very rarely dropped his hands after he threw a shot. His discipline was incredibly good. But the problem with that is that sometimes it leaves a lack of room for creativity with fighters. Yes, it's important to be defensively disciplined, but if you continue to give the same look over and over again, you're never ever going to beat a guy like Inoue. The first thing I said at the beginning of my live about this guy was I looked at him and I went, his elbows are incredibly flared. You know, he had the high guard, but his elbows was very, very far forwards, which instantly made me think he's giving the body to Inoue. He's offering it to him. Now that can sometimes be done because it's to create counter-punching opportunities, but in this instance, I think it was just that he was so concerned about protecting his head, about not getting knocked out with a shot to the head, that the body was there all night for Inoue, and Inoue took it. He took the invitation and he constantly stabbed to the body of Picasso, and in fact, I'd say that this fight kind of was a story of the body shots in many ways. Picasso, like Inoue, had most of his success to the body. The left hook in particular was a money shot for Picasso, but the difference between these two men was so obvious to see when they were standing in the pocket and they were exchanging left hooks in particular to the body. The impact of Inoue's shots was totally different from Picasso's. It was like Picasso had cushions, pillows inside his gloves, and Inoue had a bloody egg weight. It was damaging, it was vicious, and Picasso simply couldn't hang in the pocket for long periods of time with Inoue. I mentioned the lead hand of Inoue there to the body, but the lead hand of Inoue in general in this fight was incredible to see. I mean, the sharpness, the speed on it, the different levels that he throws it from. It's unbelievably unpredictable and difficult to read as a shot, and it allows him to control fights. One thing that I've noticed about Inoue, having watched him for a little while now, and something I think he definitely does on purpose, is he lowers himself to the level of what's in front of him at times, because he wants you to open up so he can counter you and land large shots on you, ones that you don't see coming, so that he can knock you out. He's good enough to be able to do that and keep himself safe at the same time. What was testament to this was Inoue's movement is exquisite, it's exceptional. There were moments when he was using that jab that I just mentioned, dancing around the ring, using that lateral movement, popping the head of Picasso regularly, easily landing on him with that jab. I mean, Picasso was forced to keep a high guard at all times because the power of Inoue is so good that even when he's in motion, he will hurt you. But the testament to this idea that Inoue will lower himself to what's in front of him is that there was moments.
The boxing world was buzzing after Naoya Inoue's dominant performance against Alan Picasso. Social media exploded with highlights, reactions, and breakdowns that showcased Inoue's relentless style and his ability to control every aspect of a fight. Boxing analyst Henry offered a tactical perspective, noting that Picasso entered the ring with a very high guard, keeping his gloves tight to protect his chin and showing solid defensive discipline. However, Picasso's elbows were positioned too far forward, leaving his body exposed, which Inoue immediately exploited. Inoue's lead hand, sharp timing, and blistering speed allowed him to land punishing body shots while staying unpredictable. The contrast in power was obvious, as Inoue's punches carried serious impact while Picasso's lacked the same effect. Henry emphasized that Inoue's blend of offensive precision and defensive awareness kept him in complete control throughout the fight, underscoring why he is considered one of boxing's most dangerous fighters.
You hear Monkster?
No.
Japanese fighter called Monks. This is Monks.
Crazy dude.
The mean son of a. Oh yeah, you'll see this bad mouth. Don't look like much. He's better than Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was blue like that. Just as good.
He looks like a fucking pop star.
Oh, wait till he get on these.
The most efficient hunting machine in all of boxing.
He's vicious. That's a bad guy he beat too. Broke him down. Ooh.
118?
Yeah,
who the hell fights in that division?
Bantamweights.
Yeah, but who?
Some bad mother. Yeah, some kill.
Mike Tyson acknowledges Naoya Inoue's incredible skill and refers to him as a true monster. Tyson says Inoue is faster, stronger, and more precise than many champions he has seen, even claiming he is better than Manny Pacquiao in his prime. He highlights Inoue's power, footwork, and ring IQ as unmatched for the division, and his praise reflects the deep respect a legend has for a modern superstar dominating every aspect of the sport.
I do think that I do think that it's a completely different style you're going to see Inoue fight with Nakatani than you did Hernandez today. You know, I thought Nakatani did a solid job of, again, getting off those good punches, hard punches. It was he couldn't get the respect, and that's something that will lead you to think some things going into the Inoue fight. But remember, Inoue does get hurt. Inoue has been down at this weight class, so you land those hard shots, clean hard shots like that on Inoue. I think he's gonna have to respect that power of Nakatani more so than Hernandez did today. Now, Naoya Inoue took on David Picasso in another surprising result in that this one also went the distance. Can you imagine Nakatani and Inoue both going the distance? Would have been crazy odds if you're a gambler. But Inoue won the fight going away. I don't know, he didn't get asked the question in the post-fight interview, but to me it seemed like Inoue's right hand may have been bothering him. Again, just assuming here because we didn't get any confirmation. It's not like the post-fight interview or the broadcast ever actually brought out something that was obvious, which was that Inoue was actually not throwing his right hand many times when he could have, was going left hand heavy. Even when he had Picasso up against the ropes a lot of times, he didn't throw the right hand or barely throw a right hand. So I'm not quite sure that, just my assumption, but I'm not quite sure that anyway he had not at least heard or tweaked his right hand in this fight. And that might be why David Picasso was able to go the distance. But also Picasso did some crafty, clever things, made himself a moving target even when he was standing still. A lot of up and down rotational movement, hip and up and down change of level movement when he was stuck up against the ropes and when he was in front of Inoue. So Inoue couldn't get to him too clean. When he got stuck against the ropes, also he made himself a small target by staying low. He would change the level by going up and then back down. Just things that weren't giving Inoue any threat to lose the fight, but they were giving Inoue problems as far as tracking him down and getting to him cleanly. Inoue was going to the body very well, I thought.
Pauli Malignaggi shared his thoughts on what might be next for Naoya Inoue while analyzing his recent fight with Alan Picasso. He noted that Inoue's dominance was obvious, but suggested that future opponents like Junto Nakatani would need to respect his power even more than previous challengers. Malignaggi pointed out that Inoue took Picasso the full 12 rounds, adding that imagining a fight going the distance with someone like Nakatani would be incredible and would further highlight Inoue's stamina and consistency. He also observed that Inoue may have been holding back his right hand slightly, possibly due to a minor issue, though nothing was officially confirmed. Despite that, Inoue's performance remained commanding and he won decisively. Malignaggi concluded that these factors make Inoue a difficult puzzle for any fighter, emphasizing that his mix of speed, power, and ring intelligence will keep him among boxing's most dangerous and unpredictable champions.
To back 12 rounds, as in 12-round decisions. Apparently that's never, and judging by how formidable he is offensively and how good he is, it's easy to see why, if that is in fact the case. This fight right here, Alan Picasso came in confident. And you could see it in his approach to the ring. Inoue stoic. And I did like, it was different. You know the way when you're going to the minute rest and they normally just play whatever. They were playing like kind of samurai music, like Japanese, and I quite liked it. It was quite nice, actually. And you're listening to that and you're thinking, actually, I'd rather listen to this than listen to, you know, some of the crap that they play, you know, on most shows in the UK and US during the 1 minute rests. I quite enjoyed it. The whole show as a whole, I enjoyed it. I liked the setting. It was actually I really enjoyed it, actually. I have to say, I really did. It's a really good show. More of them, please. I really like the Asian kind of team in Saudi Arabia. With this fight itself, right? So, first round starts, Inoue tends to... He can be a quick starter at times, and we've seen that. We certainly have in first rounds and stuff like that, you know, but not a crazy amount of first round stoppages. If I think off the top of my head, he stopped, I can't remember the guy's name, in a round. I remember that was in the World Boxing Super Series a couple of years ago, many years ago now. But he's not really one for going out there and just blasting you out in a round. He might hurt, he might drop you in the first round, but he normally carries you at least into, well, normally into like the second or third round at least. And he was not really doing much in the first round, Naoya Inoue. But straight off the bat, you could see that Picasso, he did the high guard and kept the high guard. He tried to punch with Inoue, which is something that you can actually do. It's very risky because Inoue will also punch with you, and Inoue's hand speed.
The Ring magazine posted on X, stating, Naoya Inoue has doubled Alan Picasso in punches landed, 170 to 85, after 6 rounds. According to CompuBox, this mid-fight statistic clearly highlighted Inoue's dominance. The numbers showed how Inoue controlled the action with relentless pressure, sharp precision, and high volume, leaving Picasso struggling to keep pace as the rounds went on. Analyst Liam Goff highlighted Naoya Inoue as one of the most dangerous boxers in the world today, noting that for the first time in his career, Inoue has gone back-to-back 12-round fights, showcasing elite stamina and consistency at the highest level. Goff emphasized how formidable Inoue is offensively, combining speed, precision, and power in a way that makes him extremely difficult to challenge. Against Alan Picasso, Inoue faced a confident opponent who entered the ring with determination, yet Inoue's skill and strategy dominated throughout. Goff also praised the overall presentation of the event in Saudi Arabia, from the unique atmosphere to the traditional music during breaks, calling it a refreshing change from typical Western boxing shows. He concluded that both Inoue's performance and the event setup reflected the high standard of modern boxing, further cementing Inoue's reputation as a truly elite fighter.
2025. And this is just a very sharp clinic from Inoue. You know, using that jab really well to maintain distance, set up his combinations. He's landing that thudding left hook to the body, doing some really good body work. He's landing right hooks up top, 3-4 punch combinations. And Picasso, he didn't really have much of an answer. You know, occasionally he'd land a jab with a straight right hand, but for the most part, Inoue is just running through him. And Inoue has a great argument to end the year as the new pound-for-pound #1. You know, now that Crawford retired, it's either him or Usyk. But Usyk is no longer undisputed, only had 1 fight this year. Whereas Inoue, he had 4 undisputed fights, and he's steamrolling the competition. And with this win, and Nakatani also winning, it seems like we're going to get Naoya Inoue versus Junta Nakatani next, May 3rd in the Tokyo Dome. You know, this fight is already agreed, and Inoue said the Japanese fans can expect a big spectacle. And Nakatani, he didn't have the best performance today, you know, got pushed to a big test. Whereas Inoue, he looked very dominant. So I think it's safe to say that Inoue will probably win the fight at this point. But still, this will be the...
Now, Naoya Inoue stands as the undisputed super bantamweight champion, holding all 4 major titles, WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO. In 2025, he enjoyed an outstanding year, fighting 4 times and winning every bout while successfully defending his undisputed status. Earlier in the year, he defeated Yi Jun Kim by knockout, followed by a TKO victory over Ramon Cardenas. He then overcame Murodjan Akhmadaliv by unanimous decision before recently dominating Alan Picasso to secure another decisive win. These victories highlight Inoue's speed, power, and technical brilliance, allowing him to remain firmly on top of the division and finish the year as one of boxing's elite pound-for-pound fighters.
Level. Picasso does not have the punching power to really trouble Inoue. And on top of that, Picasso, you know, what was kind of crazy about Picasso was like early on in the fight, he started out pretty good. I gave him like 2 rounds early in the fight. Like I gave him two of the first 6 rounds. But as the fight wore on, he fought more like a Paul Butler type of fight. Very gun shy, calculated, in the high guard. Just didn't give Inoue a lot to work with. And you know, Inoue will land a lot of jabs. Inoue will land a lot of left hooks to the body. But Inoue had a very hard right hand around the guard. Him and his team looked like they game planned against that right hand. They kind of like, you know what? If you're gonna knock us out or beat us tonight, you're not gonna knock us out with that punch like you done to everyone else. And there were times where Picasso, being the significantly taller guy at 5'8", would be crouching down and getting lower than Inoue, making himself a smaller target. So he was doing some good things here and there, but overall, class tells over time. Inoue was just too quick, too fast, too sharp, and too good, but he just couldn't get the stoppage. So that being said, a lot of people are going to hold it against Inoue because he's held to such a high standard, and I get it. You know, with great power comes great responsibility. But I'm impressed, man. I'm very impressed with Inoue. Just even though I've given him some flack for, you know, fighting some guys I just don't think are on his level this year. You know, to fight 4 times in a calendar year, you know, and defend the undisputed title 4 times in a calendar year, that's unprecedented. And he's the first fighter since Larry Holmes to successfully defend the ring belt 4 times in a calendar year. This is the first time.
User Diego tweeted on X, stating, "Top-class performance by Naoya Inoue and much respect to Alan Picasso for holding up for 12 rounds." He highlighted Inoue's skill, speed, and relentless pressure that allowed him to dominate the fight, while also acknowledging Picasso's resilience and determination to last the full 12 rounds against such a formidable opponent. The tweet captured both Inoue's excellence and Picasso's courage, showing appreciation for a competitive and entertaining boxing contest. The fight between Naoya Inoue and Alan Picasso showcased Inoue's explosive power and speed against Picasso's height and defensive style. In the early rounds, Picasso performed well, stealing a couple of the first 6 rounds with smart, calculated movement. He used his taller frame and a high guard, occasionally crouching to reduce Inoue's target area. As the fight progressed, Inoue's class and skill became clear as he landed sharp jabs, precise left hooks to the body, and a powerful right hand around Picasso's guard. Despite Picasso's resilience and tactical adjustments, he could not match Inoue's speed, accuracy, or strength. Inoue controlled the pace, dictated the exchanges, and gradually wore down his opponent. By the final bell, Inoue's dominance and elite boxing ability secured a decisive victory, leaving no doubt about his superior technique and power.
But when he gets in there with guys that can absorb his punch, like Picasso was absorbing his punches, he was hitting them in the body, combinations, teeing off on him. Inoue is athletic, he's explosive, but his power translates to those little guys. As he moves up in weight, going to 130, not happening. If he goes up to 130 pounds, he's going to lose. He can't deal with those punches. He can't deal. First of all, we've seen him on the canvas multiple times. Second of all, his power is not going to translate with those guys. They're going to absorb his punches. Now, what he does have going for him is his hand speed. He's still got that hand speed, and maybe that hand speed will translate. Maybe it'll slow him down. But it just showed me that he's going to always be a great fighter for those low weight classes. He's a super bantamweight champion. But 130 pounds? Nah. And he might have trouble with Nakatani. Nakatani is going to absorb his punches, but Nakatani is going to be a way better puncher than David Picasso was tonight. And yeah, I think Inoue could be in trouble with him. I still think that he's just so fast, so explosive, so quick, and has a high ring IQ that he still beats.
While many praise Naoya Inoue's explosiveness and power, especially for his weight class, some analysts point to potential challenges as he moves up in weight. Inoue dominates lighter opponents with sharp combinations and relentless body shots, as demonstrated against Alan Picasso. However, against bigger fighters who can absorb his punches, his power may not translate as effectively. At higher weights, such as 130 pounds, Inoue could face stronger punches and encounter difficulties sustaining his usual dominance. His athleticism and skill are unquestioned, but questions remain about how his style and power will adapt against larger, harder-hitting opponents in the future.